Okay, here we go. I believe this is part 6 of Metroid Prime Remastered now. Yep. So this is where I left off from last time. It's all dark in here. Only about 30 seconds after my phone died. There we go. Switch to the thermal visor. Heading this way. Okay. I really like that effect with the static on the screen, how it interferes with Samus's helmet display. There we go. Excuse me. Had some nice lemon juice before I started recording this. But I do like how it messes with Samus's helmet display. Probably going to have to fight those rocket guys again. Yep, there we go. These guys are shaking. Okay, where's the other one? There you are. There we go, look out. More? Oh, there's one. I don't need to be doing this fight, but it's fun. So, I'll take care of it really quick. There we go. There we go. Full health now. And then I can go ahead and get rid of these boxes while I'm at it. At least most of them. I think the bigger ones only go down if you use a super missile. You see the world out there. You can kind of see that it doesn't continue onward. Just a little bit. Oh, there is a crate up there. Ah, missile. I'll take that. Not that I need it. I hope I'm going the right way. Hold on. Okay, yeah, I am. I'm good. Take me down. Alright. Continue on. Let's see. Oh. Missile. Okay, there we go. Oh, save room. Okay. I'll take that. I completely missed that the last time I was here. Let's see. So, I suppose the goal is to make it back over here now. Continue our path towards exiting this place. Switch to the X-ray visor. those guys are just gonna keep respawning. So might as well just keep making my way through. Ah, this thing is trouble. It's even scarier when you don't have the visor on, because it's completely dark and you just see this thing machine gunning you from a distance. Okay. Currently, this position. Metroids. I need to turn. What I need to be is careful. Make sure these ceiling guys don't get too good of a shot at me. It is a little nerve-wracking. It is a little nerve-wracking the way they just sort of run up to you. Ah! The model for that cable is in the way. You can't hit me. Alright. I'll take it. Let's see. What direction? Okay. Heading in this direction now. And I kind of like to just go with the normal visor for these parts. Just to get that feeling of the low light. I wouldn't mind some sections where they kind of force you to have to go through with no X-ray or a thermal visor. Where they force you to go through with no thermal visor. And it's just... Yeah, these ones go invisible. There we go. Oh, there's quite a few of them, isn't there? A lot more than when we first walked in. I must be activating all of them accidentally. It must be that they're invisible and they're hanging from the ceiling. And I'm accidentally walking under all of them. Yeah, that must have been what it was. And then I accidentally went through and activated them all. Okay. That's not too bad. Oh, what is this? Force field, space part, impossible to breach. Interesting. Okay. That was the map room. Already got the map from that. Alright, so we can head out. I love this hallway. we go. Back to normal. I think there was... Okay, yeah, let me take that save room. Might as well while I'm here. Alright. Yes, I would like to save. So I wanted to mention something special that's finally happened. I finally got my first dislikes on one of my videos. Well, no, I gotta go this way. Oh, really? What? Oh, no, wait. I remember now. Yes. Was it the charge beam? I could have sworn I hit this thing. And then... Oh, right, super missile. I have super missiles now. Hold on. So... Hold this. And then missile. There we go. Okay, I almost forgot I got those. So then switch to this. There we go. Let's head on through. It's a clever way. They lock the door behind the two items that you need. The super missiles and then the wave beam. I love the look of this room. Look at this room. You can see the sky out there. Oh, I think it's about to be boss fight time. But yeah, I got my first dislikes finally. Which I don't really mind. It's kind of cool. It's on 2 different videos. And one of them is... Well, 2 of the... It's 2 of them. One of them is the world building one. And then the other one is that one that has 140 views. It didn't have 140 a little while ago. I don't know why people keep watching it. Apparently. The one with that goofy little figure that I drew. And, 140 people have seen it. I don't know why. I'm guessing they only watch like 10-15 seconds of it and then click off. And sometimes I try to figure why the dislike, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just not what they were looking for. But that is funny to me. But it means I'm moving up in the world. Enough people, 2 people have cared enough, or maybe it's the same person, to dislike. I'm moving up. Alright, we're going to be fighting Thardis, the rock monster thing. I like this creature. Can I switch out of the combat visor? I would just like to, in general. Switch out of the thermal visor. Ah. I gotta get my... Ugh, this gun is terrible. This gun is terrible for this. Turn this off. I see, it's not gonna lock on. Alright, that's fine. This fight is tough as nails. Alright. Get some pot shots out on that. There we go. Use my good, the bad, and the ugly trigger strategy. Just fire out shots rapidly. Alright, switch to thermal visor. Ugh, careful. Okay, combat visor. I don't mind the flow. This is a much better flow than, like, Flagra had. Or the Parasite Queen. There's an actual back and forth to the combat, which I appreciate. There we go. Which one of your limbs is going to become... I've never actually experienced, like, problems with that attack. Is it just to create the storm? I guess it is. It just looks cool. Low visibility and stuff. There we go. Ugh. Okay. The big rock. That shouldn't be too difficult to hit. Okay. Hold on. Start charging up a super missile. Shouldn't be too difficult. Okay. It's that rock now. Careful, don't get hit. Don't get hit. He's rolling around like a madman. Spin, you dumb animal! Spin until you are dead! Like, there we go. I've got kittens hopping all over me while I'm trying to do this. It is somewhat distracting. Oh, I'm glad they put some homing on that. I guess they realized, like, yeah, don't want to make the player feel like they wasted a bunch of missiles, only for it to miss. So put a little homing on it so it's worth it. Not too much homing. I've experienced it before where that hasn't always worked out and I've missed with super missiles. But just enough homing to make it so that, you know, they put a little something on your investment for committing to the super missiles. He seems a little angry. I think he's about to do his storm thing. I've never been hit by this move. I'm not sure what the point of it is. Is it just to... Oh, okay. I guess he removed the lack of visibility this time. That's kind of funny. There we go. Okay. Careful. There we go. Combat visor, combat visor. Gotcha! Alright, good boss fight. I did way better on it this time than I did the last time. I do like how she... I do like how she has to run from it as it's collapsing. There we go. All right. Oh. Ultra energy. Spider ball. Here we go. I love the kind of growl on that sound effect. All right. Spider ball acquired. Look at that. Okay. Now, where are we going? Well, first, let's give this the old college try. And hook. I really like the framing on that, the kind of camera angle that they chose for it. Boom. Alright, is this... That's the way back. I believe there is... Hold on, let me check something. Okay, I think I'll need the grapple beam for that. Let me check over here really quick. Let's see what's up with... Oh, that's the way back. Okay. That's the way back. This is just here. To be here. Okay. I'm guessing you can drop down onto it. That's what it's for. Just in case you don't want to just disengage from the track. It could be teaching you how to catch yourself with the, and then you let go. Oh, no. Okay, never mind. Maybe it's just a quick practice. Or I just missed. Who knows? Moving on. It'd be kind of cool if the boost ball worked while you're on the spider ball track. Ah, there we go. Oh, yes, and this will teach you... You can bomb upwards. Yeah, there we go. Small tutorial on spider ball tracks. Here we go. But yeah, I finally made it big enough to have dislikes on my channel. But I'm trying to imagine what it is that there is to... Look at that ice. That is some nice ice. I'm trying to imagine what it could be. Maybe it's just the format, or telling the algorithm, you know, not to share anything like that again. Could be my voice, could be the content type, could be a mismatch of expectations. Who knows? Who knows? Ow, okay, just go. Just go, I already got hit. But, it's just funny to me. I'm trying to imagine what it could be, but I don't really know. It's not going to affect anything that I do, really. I was just curious at the time, wondering what it could be. But I've never gotten... It was interesting to me because I've never gotten dislikes before on a YouTube video. So it's like I'm more legit now. My street cred. Oh, I think the music is about to change. Hold on. Oh, I think it's time. I think it's time. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Is it time? Oh, no. I don't have the right beam. No. They've locked the funky music behind this door. I'll be back. I can't seem to jump back. Oh, the hole's too tiny. Okay. I was gonna dramatically jump backwards. That is not going to happen. Alright. Back to Magmore Caverns. Here we go. Back to the depths. But yeah, it feels like I'm more legit now. I've got dislikes. Either it was long enough for them to figure out something and then dislike it, you know, figure out what they were listening to, or it was just like 10 seconds and then it was over. I don't know. I don't know how long. Well, it does give me an estimate on the thing. Sometimes I like to see that, and the average is usually like 30 seconds per video. Yeah. That's funny. Let's see. I love the look of this room. Sort of rib cage kind of scaffolding architecture. Oh, okay. Oh wait, these are all flamethrowers. Oh boy. Oh wait. Missile. Oh, missile. Missile. My missiles aren't nearly as strong as their missiles are, jeez. There we go. Okay. What? Oh, are those little beetle guys down there? Yeah, they are. Okay. I believe this will activate a puzzle. Let me look around the room first before I do that. So that's where I came from. What's this? But is not receiving power. Ah, okay. Yeah, here's my thing with the whole gimmickiness of the visors. It was cool for that set piece. It was cool for that set piece. And now its main thing is just gonna be the occasional sort of one of these puzzles, and then it'll kind of disappear after a while. But again, visor gameplay, the different visor types, it generally boils down to this. You could shoot it normally with your normal gun, but you can't see it. So now you can turn on your visor and then do the same thing you were gonna do before, but now you can see it. Oh, yeah, you. I forgot about you. I'll be back. Okay. Oh, no. Blech. Okay. Do it again, I dare you. Oh. Okay. This time, rhetorically. Do it again. I dare you. Okay. I dare you. Just try and approach me. There we go. There's magma over there. Okay. Ooh. Alright, activate this one. That'll access the lava control. Cool off the next segment, which will get me more access. I think this is all for an item, but I don't mind. I don't mind. Oh, that one's timed. Okay. Go, Samus. Become ball again. You can do it. No time to waste. Speed. Speed. Can you believe Metroid Prime 4 does not even have a puzzle theme? It's funny to me when I see some discourse over Metroid Prime 4, and someone will say, like, you know, now it'll be easier for me to defend Prime 3, or now it'll, you know, something like that, where, well, they imply that, like, well, because Prime 4 wasn't particularly good, now it justifies Prime 3, or something like that, or it's just easier to defend. It's like, no, you're not really defending it. It's easier to advocate for. That doesn't fix the problems with Prime 3, though. Those problems are still present. There's still issues. There's still decisions that they made. It's just that, you know, Prime 3 was never bad, but its problems are still its problems. Prime 4 doing them worse or making its own horrible decisions doesn't suddenly make those good decisions. But it does mean that for a lot of people, it'll hold up a good mirror. You know, it'll be a nice... It's like being in a room with off-white colors, and then you think that's actually how white looks, and then you put like a brighter color next to it, and suddenly that color looks darker. You know, it's that kind of thing. But it doesn't suddenly fix the problems that Prime 3 had, you know. Those don't suddenly go away. Okay, this tells me Bendesium, and I see an ice beam door on the map. That tells me that this is going to unlock. That tells me next we're getting power bombs and ice beam coming up. Just like how we just got super missiles, magnet, spider ball. Just like how we got spider ball and wave beam back to back. Along with the super missiles, thermal visor, that tells me that the next big upcoming sequence of items is probably going to be power bombs and ice beam. Most likely. This is a goofy creature. What are you again? A puddle spore, sentient floating lava mollusk protected by an impenetrable shell. A puddle spore opens when approached, attempting to intimidate with its size. When open, direct fire to its mantle causes it to flip into a defensive position. If it can slam shut, it ejects a spread of harmful energy globules. It also becomes a nice platform. There we go. Do it again, I dare you. I dare you! Oh, not locking on properly. There we go. I like the ventilation fans hanging out above it. Oh yeah! If you think about it, Phendrana Drifts is like right above. So those fans could either be bringing in cool air or having heat go up. Okay, so we're gonna meet up right over there. Oh, okay. I missed the core. I missed that part. That's alright. Let's see, I don't believe there's anything I can do at this moment with what's going on up there. I'm pretty sure that for me to do this, I'll need the grapple beam. Either way, I'd need the ice beam, but I'm pretty sure I'd also need the grapple beam to operate in this room. Here, let me do a quick double check. Go ahead and open up. There we go. Okay. Let me do a quick check. Yeah, it'd be that platform over there. There's the grapple beam point. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I need a couple items first. A thing I was thinking about that was kind of funny to me is I remembered that data log that I read about how they found crystals that aren't useful to them here on this planet, but that the monks on Grandheim find those particular crystals to be very valuable. Yeah. Here's a little Metroid humor. Is it gonna do it? Oh my gosh. drop this again? There. Hold on. This is a little Metroid humor. Yeah. Again, it's dark humor. But it is meant to be a little funny. Just having that fall directly on the thing as it pops up. See, Metroid does do jokes sometimes. It does do humor, and that's the kind. It's like straightforward, literal, just consequences and actions, you know? Setup and punchline. You have a hanging stalactite, you have an enemy under it, you shoot the thing, it smashes the thing under it as it pops up. Yeah. It's not like literally telling a joke or necessarily being absurd, it's just cause and effect. But in a slightly grim, humorous way. Oh yeah. Gonna need... Oh, did we circle? Did we make it? No, but we are almost there. Okay. This beam is not great for those guys. Switch to that. Switch to that. I do not have the grapple beam yet. So I'm just gonna have to resort to... Okay. Well, you're telling me a super missile doesn't work, but that a regular missile will. Why not just... And that is so dumb. That is so dumb. Why the heck would you do that? Why would you make it so that the super missile doesn't do anything, but that regular missiles will? There we go. There's a complaint. The logic of what works on what and what doesn't when it comes to the missiles and these stalactites. One, they don't give a lot of feedback. Two, why the heck doesn't the super missile, you know, the supercharged missile do it, but the basic one-shot missile does? Anyway, it's a minor thing. It's a nitpick, but that's irritating. I used up 5 missiles on that, or was it 10? How many does super... Oh, no. I'll figure it out next time I use a super missile. I'll actually watch the counter to see how many it uses up. There we go. Okay. Oh. Alright. Okay, let's see. More grapple beam points that I can't quite use. But yeah, I was imagining, there's the whole thing with, like, these crystals are useless to us here, but they're very valuable to the monks of Grandheim. And I'm trying to imagine what it would be like to be, you know, Yoshio Sakamoto, the story writer, one of the original creators of Metroid, and to, you know, create this aliens slash, you know, like, inspired by, like, Japanese cartoons, television, alien, horror, you know, creating this whole thing, this whole fictional world, and then you learn, like, they want to make a 3D Metroid. We're gonna hand it over to an American development studio. And then, you know, I'm trying to imagine the feeling of you create a story, and then it gets handed over to some nerds in America who start, you know, you create the whole world, you write it, and I'm imagining going to play this, you know, imagining you're the guy who made the original 2D Metroid and its story, and then you come to play this, and they're writing about the monks of Grandheim, you know. These American nerds who have taken your world. Well, not taken, they've been handed your world. And they're writing in some, like, fantasy, sci-fi, pulp fiction-y, you know, Warhammer type stuff into the story. They're writing it, yeah, some like Warhammer fantasy type stuff. Yoshio Sakamoto writing about like the Galactic Federation and the X-Parasites and space pirates and all that, and then reading that dialogue, and it's like the monks of Grondheim, and he's like, what? What are the monks of Grondheim? Oh, the music changed! We are officially on Talon Overworld Depths. I'm gonna be quiet for a second so it can play. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to imagine, you know, being the writer, and then your story is handed over to some American nerds who start writing about monks of Grondheim and inserting, you know, stuff that's more like American sci-fi and fantasy. You know, because this is very pulp sci-fi-ish, but it is things like Monks of Grondheim is a very different tone from like the inspiration of using Alien, you know? Using something like Alien for inspiration. Alien is very different from, like, you know, Flash Gordon or Warhammer or I'm trying to think of other American sort of sci-fi game properties. You know, like sci-fi tabletop, pulp fiction-y. What am I thinking of? I've almost got it on the tip of my tongue, but I can't quite get it. Here, let me keep playing. Keep playing. But yeah, just imagining that. And he's like, what the heck are the monks of Grondheim? I don't remember those guys in the universe that I made, you know? Not that I necessarily disliked it, or anything like that, but just the idea of the world I made getting handed over to someone else. Because there are other, like, Warhammer references in, like, Metroid Prime 3, and references to more Western sci-fi type stuff. And something like Monks of Grondheim is a very, very Western science fiction type of thing. Like tabletop RPG science fiction. I'm not sure what I would think of that, if that happened. The history of the Chozo stretches back into ancient times, so far into the fog of the past that we know not where our ancestors came from. One thing is clear, however. The Chozo who colonized Talon 4 made a conscious choice to eschew a civilization of advanced technology. We Chozo chose to live in harmony with nature, guided by the providence of the universe. We believe we will spend our peaceful days here and plan to leave our words from time to time. Well, again, that's something, just now that I was talking about, is that it's implied that there's some implication that Yoshio Sakamoto saw things like that, like them making lore about the Chozo, and that when the time that Prime 2 came out, that, like, the Luminoth were originally going to be Chozo. I've at least heard of this concept. I'd have to double check to see if it's true, but it sounds true. Which is that they were going to have the Chozo. I think I heard it in an interview, I think it was. But that they were going to have the Chozo in Prime 2, but that Yoshio Sakamoto, he may have seen that they touched on the Chozo in Prime 1, and he didn't really approve of, and that he wasn't exactly approving of what the, he wasn't approving exactly of Prime 1's writers touching the Chozo. You know, it's that kind of thing where it's like, okay, you can write about the monks of Grandheim and all that. Sure, go ahead. You can make this lore for these planets, but don't touch the Chozo. That's my thing, you know? Which, you know, that makes sense to me. Like, it's that kind of thing where it's like, no, the Chozo are too sensitive a subject for other writers to just start that's for me. That's off limits. You can't touch it. So, stuff like that there, where it's like, you know, they have to... You have the writers of this game writing about, like, this is the history of the Chozo civilization. This is what happened to them. And then Yoshio Sakamoto reading about it and being like, actually, no, don't do me a favor and don't mess with the Chozo, you know? Go ahead and just leave those guys. Leave the Chozo be. And there's that heavy implication that... Oh my gosh, 2? There's that implication that, from the interview, I think it was, that they were going to do Chozo for Prime 2, and then Sakamoto was like, no, don't do Chozo. You can't do Chozo. Chozo are off limits. And so they had to switch them out with the Luminoth, and so they created the Luminoth species, which is good. I think that's really good. It gave them room to find their own creativity and their own inspiration, and it worked out. It works out really nice. The Luminoth are a really fun, tragic species, but I am glad that they're not Chozo. I am very glad that they're not Chozo. And I think they found a middle ground in Prime 3. I think they found a middle ground in Prime 3 where it was, okay, because in Prime 3 there is another group of Chozo that is implied to have existed, and I think the balance that they found is that, okay, there are different tribes of Chozo. There are different Chozo groups that existed throughout the universe. They did different things. There wasn't just... Because I think the problem, and I'm thinking about it as a writer, you know, if I were the writer, thinking about it if I were the writer, it would bother me too if, like, a team that I wasn't associated with or was in a completely different country started touching on the subject of, like, the main advanced culture in the world that I was writing. And I didn't have... And they were writing about, like... They were writing about them in a very general... Like, right there, that log that we just read. That was a very general... blanket type of log. It was speaking about the Chozo as if it was the Chozo in their entirety, you know? Which I do think is kind of a problem, you know? So I can see why Yoshio Sakamoto, he may have been like, okay, ground rules, don't make up story for the Chozo, don't make history for the Chozo. That's for me to do, that's a topic that is for us over here to write. You guys don't get to touch Chozo. But I think it was kind of a good compromise, and it fits overall with the overall story of Metroid, especially where Dread goes. That, like, okay, it's not that the Chozo here on Talon 4 were the Chozo anymore. Now it's that the Chozo on Talon 4 were a group of Chozo with a specific goal. They wanted to accomplish particular things. They had a particular goal. They wanted to accomplish specific things. So... Hold on. I think I remember... Can I make that jump? I don't think I can, but I... Hold on. There's a way to lower this.
Recorded to logbook.
Oculus, which generates electric pulses. Where is it? There's a way to lower this. Ah, I'm trying to remember how this... Oh, there it is. Silly me. There we go. Did that... Okay. More. 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. What? Hold on. Erdwin did something, so I gotta fix it really quick with my computer. There we go. Alright, let's see. What? Oh, these guys are here now. Oh, no. These guys are invincible, aren't they? But yeah, having different groups of Chozo who did different things, had different, like, subcultures within. It fits later on with the Toha and the Malkin. Oh, phazon exposure has created a mutant strain. They have developed plated skin, making them harder to burst. They're cousins. Okay. Well, that's fine. I don't really want to waste missiles on that. Which is definitely what it's for. They're definitely there for the purpose of wasting missiles. Wait for that to pass. No. I may have just enough missiles to finish the job with this room. me get the heck out of here before those puffer guys come up. Ow. What was that? Okay. Man, I really wish that they had gotten to make Metroid. That would have been such a cool boss fight. Thardus was originally... I think it was... They had a snow creature who was going to be the boss fight for Phendrana Drifts. And then I think it was Thardus, who was the rock creature, was going to go in Magmoor Caverns. Because if you notice, Magmoor Caverns has no boss fight. There is no boss in Magmoor Caverns. It's just like a hub to get around, but there's no boss fight in there. And that was going to be Thardus. So it was going to be like, you know, the lava rock creature. But then they didn't get the boss fight for Phendrana Drifts going properly. So they had to... Oh no, that was a bad idea. Okay. So they had to get... They couldn't get the boss fight for Phendrana Drifts going. So they moved Thardus from Magmoor Caverns, I think is what it was. And then... the Omega Pirate was like in a different location. I think instead of the Omega Pirate, it was Kraid. And then the Omega Pirate would have been in a different spot. Either way, there was like some... Oh wait, hold on. This is the X-ray visor. Oh no, it's the Wave Buster. Oh, I thought this was the X-ray visor. Okay. Don't mind me. This is the special item for the Wave Beam. It is essentially its super missile counterpart. I'll show that off later. It's really cool. Ball! I appear to be stuck on something. There we go. But yeah, the boss order in this game is a little messed up. Some bosses were moved around. I really wish we had gotten the Phendrana Drifts boss proper, and then gotten Metroid. There's that concept art of Metroid, but unfortunately it was never actually, you know, it wasn't made. I hope they bring it back one day. I really do. That it doesn't just stay concept art. You know, one day they go back, they dig up that concept art, and they go ahead and they just do it, you know? Just make that Metroid boss fight. I'm sure people really won't mind. I wish they would have done it for this. That would have been cool. If they ever, instead of a remaster, if they ever do like a full-on remake of Metroid Prime, instead of this where it's like the same base game, but with a, you know, a fresh body, fresh coat of paint, you know, like a nice remodeled outside, but under the hood it's like the same code and stuff. Okay. It's been about an hour now, so I think I'll be getting to stopping here. Let me reach a save point. If you all are gonna do that, you can at least replenish my missiles and bombs. There we go. Missiles and health, I mean. hoping I'd get a little more health to top me off, but that's what the save point is for, so let me ignore that. Okay. If I head through this left door, that should take me. It was this one, right? Okay, good. If they ever do a full-on remake of Metroid Prime, not just something like this where they remake the outside, but it's still like the same code and game underneath, I hope that they consider, you know, putting in the lost content and things like that. I hope they consider putting in the lost and the removed content, putting in the boss fights that were cut, and putting in Metacrate and things like that. Maybe even fleshing out the impact crater, which, as it stands, is a single... Well, no, it's like 2 rooms. That would be really cool. Alright. Gonna end right there for today. That was a good amount of progress. End with staring directly into the save point. There we go. Alright. That'll be it for part 6.